Welcome to the Thorn Fortress. Here, in the razor-sharp limestone labyrinth of Madagascar, evolution has forged miniature mutants to survive an alien landscape. Over the next 14 hours, we will witness bizarre biomechanical weaponry and the ruthless stealth of specialized microhunters. But as the midday heat fades and true darkness takes hold, how does a spider, the size of a coin, engineer a biological trap tougher than Kevlar to bridge a massive 25-meter abyss? The answer lies at twilight. "5 a.m. to 7:25 a.m. Through the immersive lens of extreme macro videography, we descend into a treacherous, alien world, Madagascar's Tsingy limestone pinnacles. This harsh, jagged landscape is bathed in the cool blue mist of dawn, masking a thriving, ruthless micro-ecosystem that exists right beneath our feet. Dictated by an ancient circadian rhythm, the shifting light signals a changing of the guard. Deep inside a limestone crevice, the giant Madagascar hissing cockroach seeks refuge from the coming sun. Its heavy, armored body presses perfectly into the rock face. When threatened, it does not bite or sting. Instead, it relies on a spectacular pneumatic hissing defense. By forcefully forcing air through specialized breathing pores via rapid abdominal spherical compression, it creates a startling serpentine hiss, a defensive mechanism honed over millions of years of evolution. As the morning sun slowly warms the ancient, drought-resistant baobab bark, a perfect black sphere begins to unfurl. The pill millipede reveals countless legs moving in synchronized wave-like harmony. Acting as a vital detritivore, it trundles across the rough terrain, its overlapping chitinous plates sliding over one another to form an impenetrable biological shield against early morning predators. Upon a waxy green succulent leaf, a bizarre optical illusion takes shape. A cluster of flatted leaf bug nymphs, entirely covered in fluffy white, hair-like waxy tufts, twitches in perfect unison. Perfectly camouflaged as a toxic, inedible lichen growth, they freeze flawlessly to deceive the highly developed compound eyes of a passing Malagasy praying mantis. An incredibly agile panther spider scans the gorge below. Gripping the razor-sharp edge with specialized tarsal claws, it calculates the geometric distance of the chasm with its binocular vision. Ignoring heavily armored targets, it relies on hydraulic pressure in its legs to launch across the void in a perfectly calculated, high-speed pounce. The warming morning light reveals a true marvel of the insect world, showcasing one of nature's most extreme examples of evolutionary sexual dimorphism. A male giraffe weevil, scientifically known as Trachylophorus giraffa, steps proudly onto a broad leaf. It cranes its impossibly long, articulated black neck. At the very tip of its snout, tiny, club-shaped antennae twitch rapidly, sweeping the air to detect the faint pheromones of rival males. hidden among pale baobab thorns. The Malagasy praying mantis meticulously grooms its lethal, spiked, raptorial forelegs. Its pseudopupils, dark spots within its multifaceted eyes, create a terrifying illusion that it is always watching, locking onto potential prey as the morning truly begins. "7:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. The broad succulent leaf becomes a natural gladiator arena. Two male giraffe weevils aggressively charge, locking their elongated necks in a brutal territorial joust. They strain and vibrate intensely, utilizing raw, physics-defying giraffe weevil neck mechanics. The mechanical hinge at the base of their necks acts as a biological crane, providing immense leverage. With a spectacular throw, the victorious male flips his rival completely over his head, then snaps his bright red wing covers in a triumphant display of dominance. Within a tangled network of dry baobab branches, a highly specialized predator from the ancient Archaeidae family lurks. The assassin spider, possessing a bizarrely elongated neck and massive spear-like jaws, walks upside down with the stealth of a ghost. Parting its lethal jaws, it impales a smaller spider from a safe distance, injecting digestive venom while keeping the struggling victim safely away from its own vulnerable body. Suspended between two limestone pinnacles, a massive female golden orb weaver tests the tension of her own geometric masterpiece. With incredible dexterity, her comb-like claws pluck and guide a fresh strand of golden silk to repair a torn section. A tiny, insignificant male waits cautiously at the extreme edge of the web, deterred by violent, sub-bass territorial vibrations sent through the structural threads by the giant female. A spiny stick insect completely vanishes into the chaotic baobab branches. Covered in bark-like thorny protrusions, it sways rhythmically to precisely mimic a dead twig caught in the wind. Its evolutionary camouflage is so flawless that it becomes completely invisible to visual hunters. Fleeing the rapidly rising heat, a perfectly camouflaged Darwin's bark spider squeezes backward into a deep fissure in the bark. Its highly textured, hairy legs fold tightly inward, blending indistinguishably with the tree's surface. Meanwhile, a heavy pill millipede trundles across the increasingly hot stone, diving headfirst into a cool crevice and rolling into an armored sphere to conserve internal moisture before the heat peaks. 11:30 a.m. to 13 p.m. Midday brings flat light and an intense, oppressive heat over the Tsingy forest. Here, survival is dictated by the critical science of arthropod thermoregulation. The broad, fleshy underside of a succulent leaf provides a crucial canopy of shade. Huddled tightly together in the deepest shadow, the flatted leaf bug nymphs abandon their synchronized movement to conserve precious energy. Their waxy tufts pulse faintly as they respire laboriously in the stagnant, hot air, successfully hiding from an apex predator resting just millimeters away. Deep inside a sheer vertical fissure, the giant Madagascar hissing cockroach flattens its armored carapace completely against the cool stone wall to maximize heat transfer away from its body. It tightly seals its abdominal spiracles to prevent fatal dehydration. Like a stone fossil, it remains perfectly still, refusing to react or make a sound, even as a hunting spider crawls past its sanctuary. Hanging completely upside down from a dry twig, the bizarre assassin spider perfectly mimics a piece of dead, dried foliage. Its elongated neck and spear-like jaws are tucked firmly backward against its cephalothorax to maintain its cryptic disguise. Its microscopic tarsal claws secure a flawless, unbreakable grip, allowing it to hang effortlessly without expending a single joule of energy. Heat haze shimmers violently above the twisted baobab branches. The Malagasy praying mantis, an apex ambush predator, enters a deep state of midday torpor to conserve moisture and lower its heart rate. Its multifaceted eyes stare blankly ahead, completely unresponsive to a heavy millipede trundling past. Its lethal, sharp forelegs are folded tightly against its chest, completely immobilized until the blistering temperature finally drops. (14:30 p.m. to 17:15 p.m.) As the harsh afternoon light fades into warm, muted tones, the arid air begins to cool. A female giraffe weevil, possessing a dramatically shorter neck than the male, a prime example of their specialized dimorphism, emerges to inspect the edge of a succulent leaf. Her sharp mandibles rhythmically tear tiny pieces from the water-rich plant tissue. Sensing the vibrations of an approaching male on the leaf surface, she pauses her meal, her bright red wing covers catching the warm, golden light of the fading afternoon. The massive web glows a brilliant golden hue, swaying gently like a biological sail in the cooling breeze. The female golden orb weaver rapidly extrudes a fresh, thick strand of silk from her spinnerets. Sensing nervous vibrations from the edge, she turns aggressively toward a trembling tiny male, while her comb-like claws meticulously press the fresh silk into a perfect geometric spiral. A sleek panther spider emerges from a dark crevice to begin its evening patrol. Its highly developed cluster of 8 eyes swivels to visually scan the dimming limestone gorge. Abandoning an ambush on heavily armored prey, it launches itself off the rock face, sailing through the air with its legs spread wide in a terrifying, high-speed pounce. The intense heat finally dissipates. The pill millipede uncoils and trundles out from the deep shadows. Its overlapping chitinous plates slide flexibly as it navigates the jagged terrain like medieval armor. Tapping its short antennae rhythmically against the stone, it searches for microscopic patches of algae to graze, completely ignoring a praying mantis stalking nearby. Startled by an unseen threat, a pure white flatted leaf bug nymph leaps blindly into the air, plunging straight into the golden silk web. It struggles violently against the sticky glue droplets as the massive golden orb weaver rushes in. With terrifying efficiency, the spider spins a thick layer of fresh silk, plunging its venomous fangs deep through the fluffy wax to deliver a lethal, paralyzing bite. The central structural thread vibrates intensely, gleaming like liquid gold in the fading light. (17:30 p.m. to 19 p.m.) True darkness descends upon Madagascar. The massive, deeply wrinkled silhouette of the ancient baobab tree becomes the staging ground for nocturnal engineers. Triggered by the failing light, the perfectly camouflaged Darwin's bark spider begins to emerge. Scientifically known as Carostris darwini, this remarkable arachnid prepares for an act of unmatched biomaterial engineering. Ignoring passing prey, it raises its front legs, allowing the highly sensitive hairs to carefully calibrate the aerodynamic direction of the evening wind. Swaying rhythmically from side to side to perfectly mimic the wind, the Malagasy praying mantis masks its deadly advance through the thorny branches. It explodes violently outward, its lethal scythes wrapping completely around a camouflaged spiny stick insect in a single blur of motion. It ruthlessly bites down into the prey's neck, immediately severing the nerve cord. A 5-meter wide dry riverbed presents an impossible architectural challenge. Darwin's bark spider perches at the very tip of an exposed branch over the massive void. It turns its abdomen skyward, its spinnerets expanding fully to fire a massive, continuous jet of liquid silk straight into the rushing air current. Silhouetted against the dark blue shadows, the assassin spider walks upside down with ghost-like stealth. Slowly parting its massive jaws, it lunges downward in a lightning-fast strike, impaling a resting panther spider. It holds its paralyzed prey high in the air, keeping the struggling victim safely away from its own body as venom pumps into the victim. Carried entirely by the power of the night wind, a massive silver silk thread drifts across the 5-meter void. The sticky tip smashes into a distant baobab branch, instantly adhering to the rough bark. The spider yanks forcefully on the line, pulling the great biological bridge completely taut across the chasm. This foundational line is made of Kevlar-strength spider silk, a material 10 times tougher than Kevlar, and the toughest biological material ever studied. The silver silk vibrates powerfully in the wind, entirely dwarfing all other webs in the area. Walking out over the terrifying drop, the spider extrudes a second layer of silk to reinforce the bridge line. Under the cover of darkness, the giant Madagascar hissing cockroach sweeps its long antennae through the leaf litter for food. Greedily chewing a rotting leaf, it abruptly freezes, detecting the vibration of an approaching predator. Compressing its abdominal spiracles, it unleashes a shockingly loud, deep pneumatic hiss to startle the mantis, rapidly scuttling backward into the impenetrable safety of a jagged limestone crevice. Suspended right in the center of the massive void, Darwin's bark spider drops straight down from the bridge line. Working in an absolute blur of speed, it rapidly pulls and connects geometric spirals to create a colossal 2-meter wide orb web. The capture silk, loaded with microscopic droplets of glue, gleams like liquid silver under the faint moonlight. With the massive structure complete, the spider settles perfectly into the center of the web, assuming a spread eagle hunting posture. Glowing brilliantly against the indigo twilight, the breathtaking 5-meter web spans the entire riverbed, the ultimate masterpiece of evolution, standing tall and unbroken amidst the roar of the Madagascar night wind. As the Darwin's bark spider completes its 25-meter masterpiece against the Madagascar night sky, it becomes the undisputed master of the aerial highway. But 8,000 miles away, beneath the suffocating canopy of the Amazon, a completely different architectural marvel is being built out of living bodies to survive the rising floodwaters. Click here to descend into the emerald abyss and witness the unstoppable swarm mechanics of the army ant bivouac.